TV shows show us what they want us to see. We're going to unpack what was going on behind the scenes, MasterChef Australia, in just a minute. Hey, Tarot fam. I'm Annabelle. I'm a tarot practitioner and psychic for over 35 years. This is part 2 of our deep dive into Meghan Markle's appearance on Australia's MasterChef. So we're going to look at what was happening during the production. We're going to take a peek at the chefs and the co-hosts and all the good stuff. So let's get going. Thanks so much for being here. Please hit the like button as I bring up the card view. Hope you guys are having an amazing week so far. So let's jump right in. The overall atmosphere during the filming, not before, during the filming. What was it? And I got one card that jumped out, the Hierophant in reverse. There was not a lot of control over certain elements in the room. Was that element Meghan Markle? Absolutely. We got a yes on Meghan Markle. So there was a lot of shifting and changing. Let me bring up just a fun little Celtic cross spread for this. And we're using the Choose Your Own Adventure tarot deck. This is based on the artwork of the cute little books that we had when we were kids. I love these books. So the energy on the set, 5 of Pentacles. We are breaking the mold and stepping outside of the norm. The Lovers in reverse definitely tells us that there was not a cooperative working environment. 5 of Cups here. I think we were geared up before. I think there was a long laundry list on the way in of do's and do nots for the production team coming from El Duchess. Here, Ace of Swords. Everybody was kind of looking for their benefit in this particular situation. MasterChef, as we saw in the first video, and you haven't watched it, you can go see it right there. We're going to put it right there for you guys. So you can go see it. You can go click on that and then come back to this one. But everybody had an intention of benefit. All relationships are transactional, no matter how we want to look at it. I say this all the time. It gets me in a lot of trouble. All relationships are transactional. And this certainly was one that was going to be transactional. However, everybody wasn't on the same page with that 4 of Cups. They were all still kind of cooking up what their goals and end game was going to be. Lastly, we've got the 2 of Cups over here in reverse, which means that everybody was totally on a different page. So I wanted to look at what Meghan was feeling, thinking, doing when she was outside of the facility. So we all saw on the show, I didn't watch the actual show. I watched it on other content creators because I don't want to give them the views, and I'm here in America and I don't even know if I can see it here. But we did see her walking in her all black outfit, shiny, hate shiny on TV. I'm just going to say that. But she was walking in. The people have like overlaid the Imperial March to it, which is really fun. Love Star Wars. Hands up if you're a Star Wars fan. So they did show her walking in, but we got some behind the scenes footage of her standing outside, and she looks quite grim. I want to focus on that. What was she feeling when she was standing outside looking quite so grim? Temperance, Death in reverse, the Hermit, 3 of Pentacles. I do think that Meghan Markle was upset that the changes were not made at her direction. She had explained to them what she wanted and how she was going to be. And this is potentially the name issue. It's potentially calling her royalty or the Duchess or Meghan Markle. No one knows what she was upset about. So we're going to look at it now. We're going to check it out. Let's see if we can get an answer. So that Three of Pentacles, I do think they really had to scramble and kind of placate to her. I think she was upset in that moment. I think she was upset just prior to that. So was Meghan upset about the overall treatment of said Duchess? Was she upset about that? Six of Pentacles. No, I think that they really were making her feel warm and fuzzy and cozy. Was she upset about the word royalty? This is what you all want to know. The Moon. No. We're going to get a clarifier card there. Eight of Swords. I think she expressed quiet disdain. If you must. Call me royalty if you must. What about calling her the Duchess? Was she upset about being called the Duchess? No, she actually wants to be called the Duchess. We got that Nine of Cups. That is the objective, what she wants. Was she upset about being called Markle? Eight of Cups. That's not my name. I'm not Meghan Markle. I'm not Meghan Markle. I think we all call her Meghan Markle as loud and proud as possible. Loud and proud as possible. So at the beginning of the episode and the end of the filming, beginning, Knight of Wands, everybody's getting to work. And at the end, we have the Tower card, which means disruption, chaos, coming out of nowhere. Did Meghan Markle leave the property living? Did she leave the property living? No, why not? King of Pentacles, Moon in reverse. She is not going to have a lot of nice things to say about MasterChef, which is unusual because she has a cooking show. Don't you know? Don't you know? As ever. So let's go on over to Poe. So Poe is lovely, and she is the host of this show. She was very over the top when she introduced Meghan Markle. What was that all about? Why was Poe so over the top in that moment? She was making up, trying to set, poor Poe. You know what? I feel bad. I feel bad because I do think that Poe misspoke. Remember, Meghan misspoke at one point or misremembered. I think that she misspoke in the moment, and she did try to rectify it. Now, we know through some rumory news outlets that Poe wanted to extend an apology to Meghan directly, and the producers and powers that be said, don't do that. We'll take care of it. So Poe really did not get an opportunity to personally express her regretfulness for not sticking to the script, which I think it was just an accident. She just accidentally didn't stick with the script. So, oh my goodness. In the end, I think Poe is okay. I think Poe was glad to see the back of her. And I do think that she was glad that there is not going to be a permanent spot for her. So, oof. I'm going to ask it. Did Poe cry? I don't think that she cried, but I think she was very effusive about apologizing for the transgression, the title or addressment transgression. I think she was doing that. Did they edit anything out to cover up this business? So we've seen a few daggers. Did they edit anything out? High Priestess, yes. And that material, I believe, has been destroyed. I think they've destroyed it. It was probably in the contract. Yeah, they probably contracted that anything that's not usable has to be destroyed. You can't use it for something else. Meghan's team knows what they're doing. They know what they're doing. What surprised Poe the most about this episode? That the person Remember what I said before when we saw this Queen of Swords, that Poe did have some level of respect for Meghan. She was not anti-Meghan. She wasn't, part of this anti-Meghan Markle brigade. But she saw someone who she thought was smart, thought was ingenious and interesting, and then saw a lot of conflicting, combative behavior out of this individual. She saw a conflicting personality. The personality that was promoted was not the personality that presented, but she also saw some combativeness. I do think that Meghan Markle is like my least favorite kind of person. I think I've had the occasion to know women that think that complaining makes them seem discerning and high class. I think Meghan Markle falls into this category, unfortunately. And I think that there is very little that meets her unrealistic expectations. And I think that this was one of those situations where Poe recognized someone who was complaining just for the sake of complaining. So I think we have a little bit of that there. How about the crew? I'm talking production crew, not the chefs. How about the crew? How were they during the filming? Magician doing their very, very best to make it look good. The crew was doing all they could. They stuck to the script. They stuck to what they were supposed to do. They stayed in their lane. Good for you guys. Well done. Well done. Was Meghan buttering up the crew? Did she butter up the crew? Six of Cups. No. In fact, she just kind of breezed by them. I think she did something after with that Queen of Cups there. I think she sent something over after. It's probably a whole bunch of her jellies and jams or spreads. Honey doesn't go bad, but spreads do. Let's talk about the chefs. So, viral moment, Meghan decided that instead of yelling, "Chefs, 30 minutes," that she was going to go over and ASMR personally say 30 minutes so-and-so. And it came off as very flirty and inappropriate. It also it burned some of the minutes for some of the chefs there. They all looked surprised when she came over. Was Meghan overly flirtatious with the crew, with the chefs? Page of Cups and the world. Eight of Wands, sending that wrong message, trying to lock these guys down. This was networking for her. I think Meghan has this intention of hooking up with one of these chefs, not in that way, guys, not in that way, but hooking up with one of these chefs and having them do like a collab later. Not surprised. In fact, I do think that she spoke with one of them about possibly doing a much larger project in the scope of like restaurant, farm to table kind of experience. So we have a few restaurants like that here in New Jersey where they actually grow the food right there. It's like a farm atmosphere. You go into this beautiful building in the middle of this farm. It's a working farm. I know sometimes they smell, but it's a lovely, lovely environment. And you can actually see where your arugula grew right outside the window. Super cool. Wineries do this all the time. I think she is dreaming big and trying to get a chef, an up and coming chef that she can pay bottom dollar and maximize. But this is another idea that's not going to work. So let me know in the comments if you want me to do a reading on Meghan Markle restaurateur, because I'm getting that psychically. I think that she is going to attempt that. Did Meghan do anything that we haven't seen behind the scenes with the chefs? Anything behind the scenes? Nine of Swords. She made them nervous. She made them nervous because she was disruptive and not appreciating the flow of their work. This is a very, very unstable and anxiety-ridden spread right here. Nine of Swords, Hermit in reverse, Three of Wands in reverse, and the Magician in reverse. Nine of Swords, anxiety, tension, not knowing what we're doing, not knowing what the next step is. And this is jumping off a cliff kind of energy in this particular spread. The Hermit is, you don't have any body of knowledge that you're bringing to the table that's going to be good. Three of Wands here, not connecting at all, personally, passionately. When we are in a room, like if I ever meet another psychic, I have a great conversation with them. If I ever meet another musician, I have a great conversation with them. We have some fun with it. These were people that could not have any kind of conversation and small talk with her because she did not have the skills to pay the bills. That is the Three of Wands in reverse there. The Magician in reverse. She just doesn't have the tools, the know-how, or the ability to do what those Master Chef competitors did. So that's where we are with her. So did they enjoy this particular episode during it? Did Meghan Markle enjoy herself? Eight of Pentacles, no. I can't believe I'm not even getting paid for this kind of attitude there. How about Poe? No. How about the other judges? The other judges kind of got along behind the scenes. They were like, this is crazy. What did they think of Meghan, the other judges, during the filming? Nine of Cups. Oh, it's interesting that we got her. And Nine of Pentacles. They're preserving this personality. The other judges, I don't think got the horns as much as poor Poe did. I think the other judges were granted a bit more respect. What about the chefs? The chefs felt like it was a disruption to their competition. So, woof. So if you had been standing behind the cameras, what would you have done? Would you have thought this was like the greatest thing ever? I do think that they sliced and diced it pretty well, but I don't know. I think she's out of her depth here, and I think she attempted to pull Poe down and make Poe a mess. So guys, let me know what your thoughts are on this particular video and this breakdown of it. Let me know if there's anything you want me to look at moving forward. Again, maybe we'll do a Saturday live on this. Let me know if you want a Saturday live in the comments down here. I'm game for it. Hope you're game for it. But until then, you're going to get another video tomorrow. So sit tight, buttercups, and I'll see you in the future.